So NAAEE is the largest environmental education association in the world and is convening this October in Lexington, Kentucky for one of the largest environmental education conferences in the world. What's really special about this year is that our president, John Flicker, is going to be the keynote of the NAAEE conference.
I think that is very appropriate because he has been such an instrumental contribution to what we have as programming at Prescott College.
I'm so gratified because the North American Association for Environmental Education is the #1 recognized organization supporting environmental educators across the country. I grew up on a small family farm in rural Minnesota, and I spent every spare moment I had out roaming around in the woods and the wilderness, and that's where I developed the most important values in my life. And when I went to college, graduated from law school, I decided I would follow my passion that I developed out there in the woods. I went to work for the Nature Conservancy and had a career there protecting important natural areas. But it became increasingly obvious to me that what was really important was building that next generation of environmental leaders. Those people who had the knowledge, skills, and motivation to understand the environment, to value it, and to go out and do something to protect it. And that led me to the National Audubon Society, whose mission includes environmental education and public policy advocacy. So we started building a network of Audubon centers in inner city communities, in the communities that had the least opportunity for families and children to go out and value nature. And we built a network of over 40 Audubon centers around the country where families and children could come in and work in their community and learn to appreciate nature close to home with their family, with their friends.
What's really powerful has been the way in which, on my journey through environmental education, I've discovered all the ways in which John Flicker has contributed to this field. I remember picking up the book Children in Nature Making Connections for the first time, which is a classic textbook for both environmental education and nature and place-based learning, and flipping through this book and discovering that John Flicker, our president, is quoted in this book. And I think what he has to say is really powerful. He's talking about the importance of nature centers, but also just the importance of creating hubs like Prescott College and other forms of outreach to communities to really make a difference. And he says, these organizations, they help create political constituency right now, but they also build a future political base for conservation. And that to me is kind of a metaphor for how John thinks. He has been known as a visionary, a big thinker, and it's because he thinks beyond what we have now to where we will be and where we can go. And that's the reason that he is such a great leader here at Prescott College and the Audubon Society and all the places that he's worked in the past.
Being out in nature and experiencing nature is really important. But the other component that research is showing us is that having a mentor, an educator, or a guide to help you, particularly at a young age, is really important. And that's the key role of environmental educators and why I so value the work of NAAEE. And it's also what motivated me to come here to Prescott College. Nobody understands the environment better than Prescott College. Environmental sustainability and social justice are at the core of our values. And today it's increasingly important as we face climate change, which is the real existential crisis of our generation. We see that how low-income communities and diverse communities are getting hurt first and worst by the impacts of climate change. Social justice is becoming the new environmentalism. So you can't talk about one without the other. And that's what Prescott College is all about. And how do we deal with social justice? How do we deal with environmental sustainability? And how do we develop leaders who can go out and motivate, educate, and develop the skills in generation after generation of people who can protect and fight for the environment? Our education program is one of our largest programs in the college. It's one of the fastest growing programs, and we specialize in developing environmental educators, especially environmental educators working with early childhood, in the early childhood, with nature preschools. So it's important to us at the college to be leaders in developing environmental educators, to work closely with NAAEE, and all of this is why I'm so grateful and honored with the award I'm receiving. Thank you to NAAEE and everybody associated with this great organization for your great work. We want to continue supporting with you and working with you.